The Devil's Hour. If you ever get admitted to the ICU on the third floor of Ashford County Memorial between 2 and 3 in the morning, do yourself a favor, ask to be moved. I'm not joking. Ask for a different room, a different floor, anything. Because nobody who's worked a night shift in that ward will tell you it's just a coincidence anymore. Not after what happened to Dr. Aaron Reeves. Let me tell you how it went down. The rain that night wasn't falling. It was collapsing, like the sky had given up trying to hold itself together. Ashford County Memorial sat on a hill outside town, an old brick building that looked abandoned even when the lights were on. Cracked windows, water stains crawling down the walls, and somewhere behind the walls, always, the low electronic beep of machines that never seemed to sleep. The staff had a name for the hours between 2 and 3 a.m. on the third floor. They called it the Devil's Hour. Some of the older doctors laughed it off as superstition, but the nurses who actually pulled the overnight shift didn't laugh. They said the air changed, that the silence got heavier, that whatever joke you were telling at 1:55 died in your throat by 2 o'clock sharp. Dr. Aaron Reeves was 27, 6 months into his residency, and this was his first full week of nights. 18-hour shifts back to back. His eyes were doing that thing where they burned from the inside. Next to him, half asleep in a plastic chair, was Nora Bennett, 25, an intern who still believed medicine was mostly about saving people and only a little about surviving the schedule. The clock on the wall read 2:17 a.m. That's when the elevator down the hall started grinding. A metal shriek, like something old dragging itself up through the building's bones. Nora's head snapped up. Does it always sound like that? Aaron gave a tired half smile. Every night. And if it ever sounds worse than that, someone's coming up. Alive or... He didn't get to finish the sentence. The lights.
Lips. Pale. Cold. Forming a strange, slow smile. Breath visible in cold night air around her. Fearful face. Marcus' face going completely white with terror. Rain dripping from his hair. Eyes wide. Mouth open. Body completely frozen. Skull. Side view of Marcus and the woman facing each other at shelter. Rain pouring between them. Lightning exploding behind her. Ghost. Marcus slowly backing away one step at a time. Eyes never leaving her white, empty eyes. Fog swirling around both of them. Anxious face with sweat. Old white bearded man Earl running through rain toward Marcus. Face pure terror. Shaking hands reaching out desperately. Old man. Earl grabbing Marcus by the arm hard. Pulling him away from the woman. Both running towards small coffee shop lights. Person running. Small coffee shop at night. Warm yellow light glowing inside. Rain hammering old tin roof. 2 men running toward it desperately. Convenience store. Earl slamming coffee shop, door shut behind them. Looking out window at empty bus shelter. Woman completely vanished. Anxious face with sweat. Interior of small coffee shop at night. 2 terrified men at table. Steaming coffee cups. Flickering light overhead. Rain on windows. Hot beverage. Close-up of old Earl's weathered face telling story. Eyes haunted. Voice barely a whisper. Hands wrapped around coffee cup. Crying face. Flashback. 3 years ago. Beautiful young woman Nadia in red dress at bus shelter. Hopeful face. Waiting for someone she loves. Broken heart. Flashback. Nadia checking her phone again and again. James not coming. Rain starting to fall around her at the shelter. Crying face. Flashback. Dark hands pushing Nadia toward railroad tracks. Her terrified scream. Rain. Darkness. Betrayal. Face screaming in fear. Flashback. Railroad tracks at night. Blinding train light coming fast. Nadia's last moment. Then only darkness and silence. Skull. Flashback. Railroad tracks empty after. Rain washing everything away. Just tracks. Just silence. Just gone. Face without mouth back of coffee shop wall. Slow deep scratch marks appearing in old wood. Like long fingernails dragging deliberately. Fearful face. Listen to the rain hammer the roof and watch the empty streets of Hollow Creek through the windshield and thought about what a strange place this was. Then he heard the bells. Skull. Not church bells. Not wind chimes. Something smaller. Something ankle height. The kind of sound that comes from decorative bells sewn onto the hem of a dress. Rhythmic. Deliberate. moving through the rain. Daniel rolled down his window slightly and looked out. The street was empty. The bells got louder. Then a voice, low, wrong, coming from directly behind his car. Time to go. The laughter that followed was not human. Daniel didn't remember making the decision to get out of the car. He just found himself standing in the rain with the door hanging open and something pulling him backward by his collar, and the last thing anyone in Hollow Creek heard was his voice cutting off mid-scream. Face screaming in fear. By morning, the only evidence that Daniel Webb had ever been in Hollow Creek was his rental car, still parked on Route 9, driver's door open, interior soaked through, with deep drag marks in the mud leading away from it toward the old Hargrove ruins at the edge of town. His body was never found. Skull. The Hargrove ruins had been the central feature of every Hollow Creek nightmare for 30 years. They sat at the far end of Creek Road, the collapsed remains of what had once been the grandest house in 3 counties, burned to the foundation in 1994 under circumstances that the official report called undetermined, and that every Hollow Creek resident called something else entirely. Don't go near the ruins. Every parent in Hollow Creek told every child from the time they were old enough to understand the words. Don't go near the ruins. Don't go near them in the day. Never go near them at night. Never go near them in the rain, anxious faced with sweat. The town council, led by Mayor Gerald Stanton, who had held the position for 22 years, reinforced this with official policy. No trespassing signs. A chain-link fence. Chest. Scene 6. The liberation of Sister Agnes. The sound that followed didn't belong to this world. Sister Agnes released Arian, who collapsed to the floor gasping. She staggered, convulsing, as thick black liquid poured from the wound, her body twisting unnaturally in the air as if something invisible were being torn out of her. Then a miracle. Every candle in the church lit at once. The broken stained glass glowed gold from within. The statue of Jesus seemed to shimmer with warmth. 2 more nuns appeared from a side door, calm and luminous, kneeling beside Dev and Arian to tend their wounds with extraordinary gentleness. The old priest walked slowly to Sister Agnes, opened a small vial of holy water, and poured it over her hands and face, speaking softly in Latin. Her white eyes faded to ordinary brown, human again for the first time in a century, full of grief and, finally, something like relief. Then she was gone, not dead but dissolved, a column of soft golden light rising toward the ceiling, drawn into the statue above the altar. The church fell silent and still. The priest placed a hand on Simran's head. Tonight, because you refuse to leave your friend behind, a soul trapped here for 100 years has finally been set free. She was not evil. She was a victim who made one desperate choice long ago and paid for it every day since. Go home now. Tell no one what happened here, and do not come back. Scene 7, the morning after. They made it back to the bed and breakfast just before 3 in the morning. Dev and Arian, despite everything, fell into deep, dreamless sleep the moment they lay down, as if the night were being gently erased from their minds. Simran lay awake, replaying every second, the white eyes, the black tongue, the look on Sister Agnes's face in the final moment, exhaustion turning into peace. By morning, Dev and Arian were laughing over breakfast, planning the rest of the trip, remembering nothing past walking into the church. Later as the
Monitor. Aaron gripped the expired vial and handed it to Nora. Dose has to be exact. Her hands trembled as she pushed the injection slowly into the 4-line. First minute, the beep started slowing, like every heartbeat was stumbling over itself. Second minute, the baby's breathing went shallow, his chest barely rising. Third minute, the whole room dropped into silence. Nothing but rain and a monitor sound falling apart piece by piece. Nora glanced at the doorway. The nurse was still there. Same faint, unreadable smile. The numbers on the monitor started dropping. 40, 38, 35. Nora's breath caught in her chest. And then, suddenly, 40, 45, 50, 60, 70. She stared, unmoving. 1 second, 75. 2 seconds, 85. Then, all at once, 95. The beep locked in, steady and strong. And the baby screamed. A real cry. Loud, furious, alive. Color flooded back into his cheeks. His breathing evened out and deepened. Nora dropped into a chair and sobbed, hands still shaking, this time from relief. Aaron exhaled like he'd just walked back from the edge of something he wasn't sure he'd return from. By 5 a.m., the rain had stopped. Thin morning light crept through the hallway windows. Nora hadn't slept at all. The exhaustion sat under her eyes in dark circles. "Where'd the night nurse go?" she asked the guard near the desk. "Carol, the one who was standing at the door all night." The guard looked up from his clipboard, confused. "Who's Carol?" "The night nurse," Nora said. "She was right there, all night." The guard's face slowly drained of color. He looked around the hallway, then back at her. "Ma'am, there's no night nurse named Carol here." Nora's heart slammed against her ribs. "What do you mean? I was talking to her. She's the one who told me you can't stop death." The clipboard slipped out of the guard's hand and hit the floor. "Carol," he said, barely above a whisper, "died 2 years ago. Right here, in this NICU. 2 years earlier, on a night that mirrored this one Almas. Exactly, same storm, same lightning, same terrified family pacing outside the NICU doors. Another baby had been rushed in. Skin gone blue, breath failing, chest rising and falling in broken, desperate gasps. On duty that night, Nurse Carol Whitfield and the senior physician, Dr. Richard Malone, sharp, proud, and rigid about the rules. The supply closet was locked. The key was in Dr. Malone's pocket. Carol had begged him, "Sir, we need the medication now. This baby's going to die." Malone checked his watch. His voice was ice. "Break protocol and you lose your job. Wait until morning. He won't survive until morning." Malone didn't move. By 3:05 a.m., Carol had the baby cradled in her own arms, his tiny fingers gripping the fabric of her uniform, his breath failing under the oxygen mask. "Hold on," she kept whispering. "Just hold on." At 3:11, the heartbeat began to fall. Slower, slower. At 3:12, one long, flat tone stretched across the monitor. The room dropped into silence. In that same instant, a sharp pain seized Carol's chest. She grabbed at her heart. Her breath caught. Her eyes went wide. And seconds later, she collapsed to the floor. 2 bodies lay under the white NICU lights that morning. A baby, a nurse, 2 deaths in one night. But the story didn't end there. That same night, Dr. Richard Malone was driving home. The rain had gotten worse. The highway was slick, the wipers useless against the downpour. Carol's voice kept looping in his head. "The baby's going to die, sir." He shook it off. Then headlights, blinding, coming straight at him. A truck, the scream of brakes. His car left the road, flipped 3 times, and everything went dark. His watch was found later on the dashboard, shattered, the hands frozen at exactly 3:27 a.m. 3 deaths, one night. A baby, a nurse, a doctor. That's why they call it the Devil's Hour. And they say that ever since, in that same ICU, whenever the clock hits 3:11, some patient starts slipping. At 3:12, someone in that hallway sees a pale shape standing near the door, sometimes reaching for a hand, sometimes just watching. Nora never fully believed what she saw and heard that night. But something changed after it happened. The Devil's Hour hasn't come back to that word since. Nobody dies between 2 and 3 a.m. anymore in Room 9 of Ashford County Memorial. Because somebody, finally, chose to put a human life above a rule.